Chesley McNeil is here. Chesley, a little cold out there too and going to stick with us.
Yeah, you're going to need that heavy coat. You're going to need an umbrella. You're going to need everything just to stay dry and warm out there. Just not the perfect day for us. The rain, light for the most part, but more of a nuisance, especially when you have temperatures as cold as it is out there right now. Widespread light rain up here to the north is where you're going to find maybe even some sleet mixing in with some of that rain, maybe even some freezing rain. So be careful driving up there. It's not going to be very widespread. It shouldn't cause too much of a problem, but just know that there could be some slick spots. You have temperatures in the 40s up here to the north. We've been talking about some of that sleet. It's in the higher elevations that we could see the sleet. You got 37 degrees right now in Marietta, 38 in Duluth, 40 right now in Atlanta. And I think that's where we're going to stay right there for the rest of the afternoon, along with this cold rain that's going to be with us, folks. It'll be off and on, scattered. Precipitation will end by 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. We'll be left with the clouds, of course. Some of that will break down as we head through the overnight. We've been talking about snow and our potentials for it. It's not a lot. I can tell you that right now. If you're looking for a white Christmas, you're not going to have it around here. Maybe up in the higher elevations of the North Georgia mountains. This is by Friday morning, and you can see on the American model, that's where we have some up to an inch of snow possible. Again, that will be in the higher elevations. The white that you see there could be flurries as far south as Marietta. That's according to the American model. We really rely on the European model when it comes to snow, and you can see most of that stays up here to the north as flurries. In the metro, not much at all. So again, if you're looking for a white Christmas, you're not going to have it. A cold Christmas? Yes. Colder air is coming our way behind a front that's going to bring the precipitation. We're going to see those teens for overnight lows and highs only in the 20s as we head through the holiday weekend. Going to talk more about that in the full forecast coming up.
Yeah, if you're bummed about not getting a white Christmas, at least the weather won't be, or the traffic won't be as bad, the holiday travel. Remember, you can stay weather aware by downloading our 11Alive news app. You can point your phone right now to that QR code on your screen, download the app for free, and then turn on weather alerts for updates in your neighborhood.
All you have to do is look at those family pictures or see videos of their road trips to see what an incredibly devoted husband and father Scott was. Madison, Taylor, Elena, you were his world. You were his heart.
The funeral for a Gwinnett County corrections officer killed while on his way to work last week just wrapped up moments ago in Lawrenceville. Brittany Kleinpeter is there. She's live outside the North Metro Baptist Church where the funeral happened. Brittany, seems like a lot of people showed up today to show support.
That's right, Savannah. Good afternoon. In fact, it's just getting over right now. You can see some people gathering out here behind us. That funeral lasted about an hour and a half, and there was officers from agencies across the metro Atlanta area. Of course, friends and family and even former inmates braved the weather to come out today to pay their respects. But as I mentioned, that funeral service just getting over right now. It is going to be followed by a processional to the burial site. Riner is survived by his wife of 22 years, his son, daughter, and grandson. And today marks 1 week since the Gwinnett County correctional officer was gunned down on his way into work. A judge denied bond for the 22-year-old man arrested and accused of killing Riner. Riner worked at the facility for the last 10 years, and those that knew him say they're still in shock.
Always treated me like somebody. He's a really good man. Didn't matter what it was that you was going through. He tried to talk to you and make things go smoother for you. He never did treat you like you was anybody other than a person.
And coming up tonight at 5, I'll have more on how loved ones are remembering the officer. Savannah.
All right, Brittany, thank you. And like you said, that procession about to take place. Here is a look at the route. It starts at the church where Brittany is and ends at Westview Cemetery in Monticello for his burial. We have the route mapped up also on 11alive.com. You'll also find information on how to make donations in honor of that fallen officer. New details now. The woman accused of killing her 4-year-old daughter and then setting fire to their apartment complex to cover it up is going to stay in jail. During a hearing in Fulton County this morning, attorneys for Nicole Jackson withdrew the motion for bail. Now, if there is no indictment within 90 days, the attorney will file for her bond hearing again. Developing right now, Atlanta Fire and Rescue are investigating a massive fire on Morningside Drive that happened this morning. Take a look at video from our 11Alive Sky Tracker. Wow. Officials told 11Alive that an RV caught fire and spread to a neighbor's detached garage in Midtown. Right now, we do not know of any injuries. New at noon, more SNAP benefits are being rolled out today to Georgia families in need. And I know this is great news because we've seen so many of you reach out to us, write to us about your delayed benefits. So this is the third distribution of funds covering the 2022 summer months for eligible children. The Georgia Department of Human Services says SNAP enrolled kids under 5, children who turned 6 during the school year, and kindergarten through 12th graders in the National School Lunch Program will get those benefits. The nearly $400 benefit will be loaded onto the current EBT cards you have. Now, if this is your first time receiving benefits, just be on the lookout for your EBT card. Right now, a new report says Grady Hospital has one of the top 5 busiest ERs in the country. The report by Nice RX Health says Grady had more than 160,000 emergency room visits in 2021. That is the 4th highest total in the country. Grady's emergency room visits have increased as well since the closing of Atlanta Medical Center earlier this year. The growth is putting a real strain on Grady's staff. Jerry Carnes spoke to one of the ER doctors about it.
Another night at Metro Atlanta's only Level 1 trauma center. Another time for healthcare providers like Dr. Katrina Gibson to feel the strain.
For patients, this means longer wait times, a lot of frustration with the healthcare system.
According to Nice RX, there were more than 51,000 general admissions to emergency rooms throughout the state of Georgia in 2021. More than 21,000 ER visits were for deliveries, 14,000 for surgery. The closing of Atlanta Medical Center left Grady as the only Level 1 trauma center in the metro area.
We are a safety net hospital, so what that means is our patients are disproportionately uninsured or underinsured. We are doing our best to respond to this increased number of patients, including hiring of new faculty, nurses.
Car crashes and crimes have contributed to the growing number of people headed to Grady's ER. Dr. Gibson expects the numbers will continue to grow.
As people are beginning to travel more and feel more comfortable doing so, to see their families over the holidays, we are likely going to see spikes in COVID as well as influenza.
And Grady recently created a new nursing helpline to address overcrowding in its emergency room. It helps a patient know if they need to go to the ER or if there's another option.
When the flu season hit, more people, more demand, and the supply did not catch up to the demand that we have.
As the influx of respiratory illnesses continue to cause a ripple effect across the country, drug shortages are increasing. The FDA says it has added 2 diabetes drugs to their list of medicine shortages. Antibiotics like amoxicillin and Adderall for ADHD have been hard to find for weeks now. Pharmacists say the shortage is because pharmaceutical companies did not anticipate a surge in demand or supply chain disruptions. That high demand came from the winter triple-demic of respiratory viruses we've been seeing. But experts say the pharmaceutical industry should catch up to that demand soon. If you run into issues with your medications, consult your pharmacist and doctor for other treatment options. Right now, police and communities are on high alert following the deaths of several young people in recent weeks. 16-year-old Justin Powell and 14-year-old Malik Grover were killed in a shooting Saturday night at a Southwest Atlanta apartment complex. That shooting also sent 2 15-year-olds and an 11-year-old to the hospital with injuries. And just a couple weeks ago, 15-year-old Cameron Jackson and 12-year-old Zion Charles were killed in a shooting near Atlantic Station. That shooting happened over Thanksgiving weekend. And now that kids are out on holiday break again, community leaders are concerned and parents obviously on high alert. Kids have a little extra time on their hands right now, and parents might be wondering how to keep them safe and engaged during the holidays. So we spoke with a local youth center that had a few tips for families. Representatives at the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Atlanta say the best way to keep kids entertained is with holiday activities that involve the whole family, like a movie night or decorating the house together. Those are some good ways to pass the time together. This is also a great time for kids to experience the outdoors through exercise or just getting out and exploring our lovely cities. But if you're looking for a quiet day inside, just a few minutes of reading can really help kids before they head back to school. And although they say safe activities for kids are important during this time, do not let the fear of what could happen ruin your holiday plans.
It's important to be aware and to keep up on those things, but it's also great to make sure that we keep young people excited about the city, excited about hanging out with their friends, excited about living life.
To learn more, just head over to 11alive.com. She dedicates her life to supporting her granddaughter, and now Henry County educators want to support her right back. Hear what they're raising money for to try to help out next.
We got a cold rain this afternoon. You're going to need your umbrella and your big coat if you're going outside this afternoon, but you're going to need maybe 2 big coats as we head into the weekend. We're going to talk about this Arctic air that's coming our way in the full forecast straight ahead. Stay right there.
Is on all of us. That's why 11Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing in.
We could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and
how you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
Heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect at any moment a tornado warning could be issued.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you'll be prepared and stay safe. 11Alive Morning News.
We began with breaking news this morning.
Is where you know what's happening now.
11Alive is live on the scene.
Where you can confidently plan ahead.
This severe weather is intensifying.
By knowing what's coming overhead. And we're Atlanta's traffic expert.
We've seen delays almost 30 minutes worth of
helps you get there on time. Every time. 11Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11Alive News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11Alive News app to use Near Me.
11Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now...
where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
and the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11Alive can verify that claim is false.
11Alive News at 11 p.m. where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are...
Here's a story that I think really encompasses the season of spirit and giving. It's a 30-minute process to get Mariah McGuire in and out of her car. Her grandmother, Jocelyn, does it every day by herself, every time they go to the doctor's office or she drops the 9-year-old off at school. Their routine is new for both of them after Mariah was profoundly disabled in a car crash that killed her mother a year ago this week. Caitlin Ross reports it's a routine they don't do by themselves or won't do by themselves for long, now that her teachers are stepping in to help.
Mariah just started at New Hope Elementary before Thanksgiving break, but in those short weeks, she's already made a big impression and is inspiring a big movement.
Joycelyn and Mariah McGuire are tight.
This is my ride or die. I go, she go.
The 72-year-old grandmother and granddaughter even dress alike when they go out.
Wherever you want to take her.
Joycelyn has always been her granddaughter's biggest fan. She sat in the front row when Mariah played Tinkerbell in the 3rd grade. She tucked her in every night.
We learned sign language together. I taught her how to say, I love, and we do this every night.
The signs are smaller now, but Joycelyn says they're still there.
But if you lean over to give her a little kiss, she'll kiss you back.
Joycelyn is Mariah's caregiver after a devastating accident a year ago this month killed her mom and left her profoundly disabled.
Very heavy. Heavy on my heart, heavy on my body, heavy on my mind.
Joycelyn stayed with Mariah in the hospital for 3 months. The little girl suffered a traumatic brain injury, and Joycelyn takes her to dozens of doctor's appointments each week and school every day.
Miss McGuire was physically having to load Mariah in and out of her vehicle.
Special ed teachers in the Henry County School District wanted to support Joycelyn like she's supported Mariah through her injury. They want to help buy her a handicap-accessible van.
We live in the wealthiest nation in the world, and there's no funds for this. There's no help for this.
It was never a question to Joycelyn that she would take care of Mariah, but she says the help from her teachers is an answered prayer.
I mean, they took me in like a family. They didn't know me from Adam, but they knew Mariah.
Teachers in the community have already raised more than $3,000 to help get Mariah the van, but they still have a long way to go. To get her really safe, reliable transportation, they'll need to raise about $15,000. If you want to donate, we put all the ways to help on our website, 11alive.com.
Wow, Joycelyn, just an angel on earth. The new year brings new rules and regulations, and a handful of bills signed into law by Governor Brian Kemp go into effect in less than 2 weeks. So let's take a look at a couple. One law raises the cap on income tax credits for rural hospitals from $60 million to $75 million. The hope is that it will strengthen the state's healthcare systems in its rural communities. Another law makes it easier for your favorite food trucks to set up shop. That's good news. It lets food trucks operate in any county in Georgia instead of having to get a different permit for each county. And helping protect Georgia consumers who accidentally buy stolen or counterfeit items, starting in the new year, online marketplaces will now have to collect and disclose certain info from high-volume third-party sellers. They must provide contact information so that if you have a problem, you can go straight to the source. We've got a list of all the new laws and how they could impact you on our website, 11alive.com.
All right, we are looking at the rain coming down. It's widespread, light for the most part. We're not looking at anything heavy, at least, but it is a nuisance for us. And then up here to the north, let's say north of Rome, we could see some sleet mixing in with some of these. I've already seen some reports as well of a little light sleet mixing in. Not going to accumulate too much at all. It shouldn't cause you any problems rolling around. Just know that it's going to be taking place up there to the north. Temperature-wise, it's been on the chilly side all morning long. Temperatures started out around 45 degrees very early this morning and now have begun to fall off just a little bit. I think we're going to hover right near that 40-degree mark, like in Conyers, right at 40. 41 degrees down in Locust Grove and over toward McDonough. Peachtree City, you're at 42, 40 degrees in Fayetteville and also over into Noonan, 39 degrees Chattahoochee Hills. You're also at 39 degrees in Dallas, Bremen at 39 as well, 38 in Hiram and Paulding County, 37 degrees in Marietta, 38 in Mableton. You got 38 also in Tucker and DeKalb County, Fulton County Airport at 40 degrees. And so that's where we're going to stay. Yep, for the rest of the afternoon. Got the clouds in place, got a little rain out there as well. It's just one of those days, folks, where you want to stay inside if you don't have to go out, right? 6 out of a possible 11 today on the Wizometer. That's how we rate your weather on a scale from 1 to 11, with 11 being the most perfect day we can have for this time of year. I think our temperatures will be falling down into the 30s later on tonight. Really depends on how quickly or even if those clouds will scatter out tonight like we're thinking, and some drier air will start to work back in behind this area of low pressure that's down to the south of us that will continue to slide over toward the east, allowing this moisture to come right on in. A bit breezy out there as well with those winds out of the northeast up to about 10 miles per hour. Gusts could be a little bit higher than that at times. Notice tomorrow we catch a brief break from the rain. We'll hold on to a few clouds. We'll call it a mix of sun and clouds for the day on Wednesday. 50% chance for the rain on Thursday, so don't get used to the drier air. That front is going to come in and bring a better chance for that rain. It's behind the front that cold air starts to move in. Any lingering precipitation could fall or begin to mix with a little bit of snow, but I think that'll be mainly up in the higher elevations of the North Georgia mountains if we see any at all. Here it is, our forecast track model. You can follow along with me with the time right there at the top of the screen. It shows the rain. It'll be off and on as we head through the afternoon. It'll stay with us at least through about 7, 8 o'clock tonight before it begins to scoot off toward the east. Now notice how the clouds try to break down. We'll get a few holes in those clouds by tomorrow morning. Again, a mix of sun and clouds will be the call for your Wednesday, much of the day. It won't be until late. You're going to notice the southerly flow coming back to us, so it's going to filter back in those clouds, bring in the chance for a few isolated showers. I think the rain will be light for the most part on Thursday during much of the day. It won't be until the evening that the front gets a little bit closer, and that will start to increase our chances for the rain. Better look at it here on our Euro model, which is what we use typically to look at some of the snow. below, depending on this one a little bit more. But you can see the rain with us. It's by 11:30 at night. Now, that cold front just off to the west of us won't get in here until after about 12 or 1 o'clock. As it does, that cold air will start to filter in behind it. Now, any available moisture will change over or mix with some snow. So we could see even a flurry or two, possibly early Friday morning in the metro area, but notice by 8, 9 o'clock, it's all gone. Those winds behind it will start to pick up. We're talking about gusts. It could be as high as 30, 40 miles per hour. So that's going to be the story of the day on Friday, how cold it will be, because temperatures will only be near the 30-degree mark. We're going to stay below freezing Thursday night and won't see temperatures get above the freezing mark until we get to Sunday afternoon. Christmas afternoon, temperatures will finally get above freezing, 34 degrees on Sunday. Another day where we'll start off in the teens on Monday. 38 degrees will be the high as we start off the work week next week. But it's going to be a cold Christmas weekend.
Yeah, I'm sleeping in a camper for Christmas, Chisley, so that's making me a little nervous. Record holiday shopping means there is a chance stores are going to see an influx of gift returns. Next, some advice from experts to help you take back those unwanted socks or sweaters with ease.
If something's true or false, record your question and send it. Download the 11Alive News app to use near me.
11Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now...
Where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
And the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11Alive can verify that claim is false.
11Alive News at 11 p.m. Where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing in.
We could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and...
How you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
Heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect it.
Okay, you procrastinators, I see you. Now is the time for those last-minute holiday gifts. And as you shop for your loved ones, make sure you're not giving criminals too much insight into what's inside your home. The Cobb County Police Department posted this photo to their Facebook page. The department says residents often make the mistake of leaving out TV boxes like this and other expensive items near their garage that identify new pricey gifts. Officers say this really can make you a target for holiday burglars. So instead of leaving the big boxes outside in plain sight, police suggest breaking down your boxes, placing them inside a trash bag before tossing them inside a trash can. And if you choose to return some of those gifts, we have a few things that experts suggest you keep in mind to make sure the returns process is friction-free. First, always read the fine print on your receipt after making a purchase. Some stores only allow returns or exchanges within a certain time frame. Also, keep in mind some retailers are trying to cut their losses more recently, so there may be a return fee. You can also check to see if the store you're returning to is partnering with Happy Returns, which allows you to send back those items without printing any labels or packing boxes. Amazon's also allowing you to return items without packaging or labels. You'll just need to scan a code sent to your phone, and from there you just drop it off at an Amazon Locker, UPS store, or even a Whole Foods. And Walmart is making things even easier for Plus members. You can request an at-home pickup for some of those unwanted items. That is super convenient. Helping teachers with classroom needs, how a local nonprofit is providing support over this holiday break. Next.
Diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing in.
We could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and...
How you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
Heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect at any moment a tornado warning could be issued.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you'll be prepared and stay safe. 11Alive Morning News.
We began with breaking news this morning.
Is where you know what's happening now.
11Alive is live on the scene.
Where you can confidently plan ahead
This severe weather is intensifying.
by knowing what's coming overhead. And where Atlanta's traffic expert
We've seen delays almost 30 minutes worth of
helps you get there on time, every time. 11Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11Alive News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11Alive News app to use Near Me.
11Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now...
Where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
And the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11.
Right now in Atlanta's Grove Park neighborhood stands the Grocery Spot. It's the community-supported grocery store that aims to give a free shopping experience to anyone who needs it. And lately that need has really extended to teachers. 11Alive caught up with teachers during the special after-school shopping hour. Teacher Jolita King was visiting the Grocery Spot for the very first time. She's one of the many educators visiting the nonprofit with the hopes of finding fresh foods for her classroom.
Students will be home for 2 weeks without lunch or breakfast given at the school, so this will be an opportunity to give food to them so they can take some things home so parents can have some things to cook for them.
That's awesome. Grocery Spot organizers tell 11Alive that teachers are training the future, which they absolutely are, and the group is grateful for the chance to support that effort. Teachers and anyone who's interested can learn more about the shop and hours in our story on 11alive.com. Thanks so much for watching 11Alive News at Noon. Make sure you stay weather aware with this cold moving on in. Pack those jackets, stay safe, and have a great rest of your day. And download our 11Alive News app for all the news and weather you need to know in the palm of your hand. Have a great day.
Every time. 11Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11Alive News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11Alive News app to use Near Me.
11Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now...
Where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
And the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11Alive can verify that claim is false.
11Alive News at 11 p.m. Where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing in.
We could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and...
How you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
Heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect at any moment a tornado warning could be issued.
The 11Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you'll be prepared and stay safe. 11Alive Morning News.
We began with breaking news this
is
morning.
where you know what's happening now.
11Alive is live on the scene.
Where you can confidently plan ahead
This severe weather is intensifying.
by knowing what's coming overhead. And where Atlanta's traffic expert
We've seen delays almost 30 minutes worth of
helps you get there on time, every time. 11Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it